CR.com. Shout out to them. Shout out to CW. Shout out to Black Lightning and the Justice League. Today I'm gonna talk to you guys about the Tattooed Man. Now, like I just said, the Justice League had a very different spin on the Tattooed Man. I mean, he was an anti-hero, and so is Black Lightning. And despite his apparent simplicity, Tattooed Man has proven to be a surprisingly resilient concept. Multiple versions of the character have been deceptively powerful men who's attempted to leave behind the life of crime they've developed. Now, with that being said, although he was introduced early in the Silver Age of DC Comics as a villain for Green Lantern and later, the Justice League has been reinvented both for the modern era in comics and for the television series Black Lightning. So now we're taking a closer look at the most prominent versions of this compelling villain. Now, before I continue, I saw the recent episode of Black Lightning. We saw the Tattooed Man, come alive once again and handling business. He literally stopped a group of black people from arguing over scraps. He was like, he was just really disappointed. He was ashamed at the fact that his people were arguing over rations, over scraps, when they deserved to be having more. You know what I'm saying? So I gotta respect that right there. To stop, put a stop to things like that. I think that's dope. And I'm gonna talk about that next too, man, because Wayne Brady just got casted as DC villain Gravedigger. I think that's gonna be pretty dope. But our first man on the list of the Tattooed Man is Abel Tarrant. Abel Tarrant was the first Tattooed Man introduced in all the way back in 1963 as the Green Lantern, issue number 23 by Gardner Fox and Gil Kane. Tarrant was a Green Lantern villain who was exposed to mysterious chemicals during a heist attempt. Now, learning that the substance allowed him to create objects from his body, he covered himself in the substance so he could always create new weapons from his body at any time. So he became a member of the Injustice Gang and fought against various members of the Justice League multiple times over the years. Eventually, he tried to step away from crime. He even tried to push fellow villain Kronos into helping him change the past to keep himself from ever becoming the Tattooed Man. But he couldn't help himself and returned to villainy. He ended up on the Suicide Squad during the events of Infinite Crisis. He tried to betray them so he could join the secret society of supervillains. He was seemingly killed for his act, but he since appeared in a brief cameo during Doomsday Clock, where he laminated the fate of DC's other Tattooed Man, Mark Richards. Now, created by Jeff Johns and Ethan Van Sciver in 2006, Green Lantern in issue 9, DC's main modern Tattooed Man is Mark Richards. Richards was a former U.S. Marine who returned to the country as a killer. His tattoos are sin graft onto him, which gives him the chance to use the sins of people he killed to redeem them. Now, this is very similar to how, the Black Lightning's character is, in my opinion. He gets tattooed the sins of the people that he's killed, and he pretty much, I guess, uses, the mark, the tattoos of his victims to remind himself to do good. That's my interpretation of it so far. But anyway, he briefly served as a villain before making a surprisingly genuine turn towards heroism during the events of the Final Crisis. Now, he and his family were among the survivors of Darkseid's assault on Earth. Black Lightning ended up sacrificing his freedom to save Richards and his family. Now, Richards dedicated himself to helping fight Darkseid as a result. He wound up playing a crucial role in saving the world by tattooing the necessary symbol to hold back the anti-life equation onto his body. He was even made an honorary member of the Justice League. He tried to remain a hero following the events of the story, but worked with Deathstroke to kill Slipknot after the minor villain murdered his son. Now, I gotta be honest with you, man. I don't blame him for doing that, man. I mean, you murdered one of my kids down, especially my damn son. He eventually settled into the role as protector of his neighborhood. I mean, you can't hate that right there. Protector of his neighborhood, bruh. Who needs police, right? So that's not sarcasm, by the way. Then was last seen in Heroes in Crisis, trying to work through his issues at Sanctuary. He was among the people killed by Wally West, losing control of his powers. Damn. Now, which Wally West? Because I know a lot of people like to think of the ginger and the African, Wally West, but which one? I think it's the ginger one. Anyway, Lala Johnson. This is the guy that I was referring to on Black Lightning. The CW's Black Lightning introduced a completely new version of the Tattooed Man, one of Jefferson Pierce's old students named Latavius Lala Johnson. He'd since become a low-level gangster working for Tobias Whale and carrying out his dirty work as a member of the 100 gang. Now, he was murdered by Whale eventually, however, for his various failures to stop Black Lightning. He was brought back to life after the fact by Tobias and imbued with new power. And this is kind of a little creepy in a sense because I kept seeing like the guy. It was a little creepy. A little bit of embalming was done. It was pretty like I said, a little shrilling to my opinion, to my discernment. But anyway, to my own detriment. But he was different, however. The faces of the people who he'd killed appeared across his skin, and he saw visions of their lost souls. Now, he continued to work for Will until he learned how Will had used him to kill one of his best friends. So Lala turned against his former boss and even helped save the Black Lightning during a fight with Heatstroke. However, his attempt to bring down Will was prevented by Will activating a secret code that unleashed all his tattoos at once, painfully. He was last seen writing in pain, so it's possible that Lala might make a return on the next season of Black Lightning, and that's very true. Like I said, he resurrected the very first episode of Black Lightning with the briefcase, not knowing how to open it whatsoever. But I don't even think he knows that Tobias is even is even incarcerated right now. And so, but someone tells me he's going to be take this time that Tobias will is the way, obviously, to do some good in his community and for his people, and I think that's really dope for him to be doing that. But this has been your boy Share Speaks. So make sure you guys hit that like button. CBR.com. Always make posting good content. I'm a big fan of theirs, as well as Screen Rant. This has been your boy Share Speaks. I love you guys. Peace and love.